And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say.
Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to Quick Place Tarot. My name is Coy, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a side of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open. Leave a message or email me directly. Link is on main, and we'll set it up, okay? So, Aquarius, my star people, what are we looking at? This is going to be your career read for the month of June. By career, I mean our ventures, labor, partnerships, potentially contracts and deals, all in an effort to understand where our efforts go to, how they come back to us, either monetarily and or otherwise, right? So as a preamble to the read, Aquarius, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, if it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, am not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 times to go through and none of the time to lie to them. Instead, we lay our cards out on the table. And good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we'll talk about it, because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one, okay? So follow along with me in your read today, Aquarius, your career read for this month. And yeah, let's see what the cards say. I grabbed a different deck. There we go. Because I was getting ready to do the one-to-one reads, but that's for another time. We will do the past, present, future, starting with your past orientation, because having that mirror trajectory, it's a lot easier for me to read. So show me the cards that we need to see, please, for Aquarius in this read. Your career read for this month. What are the cards we need to see, please, for the Aquarian Collective? In your past orientation. Okay. Four of Swords. Sorry about that. Four of Swords. Why were we trying to, temper ourselves and being calm in our disposition? Three of Swords. Okay, that makes sense. Why we had to keep ourselves calm in regards to the King of Pentacles. Yeah, something that we heavily invested into, it did not work out. Fine, I totally get that. As an aside, Aquarius, because how to put this? Every sign has a profound strength and a profound weakness. Yours being fixed air is your capacity of emotional distancing and being able to intellectualize anything, right? I don't have to feel this. I'll think it. This isn't a logical feeling for me to have. It's okay to feel your feelings, right? If it did not work out in the ways that you wish that it would have, it is okay to feel sad. Right, the King of Pentacles, you had a lot of high hopes for this. I totally get that. Then when it didn't work out at their swords, it's almost like you fast tracked yourself to the grieving and recovery phase over it. Like, oh, this is beneath me. Yeah, it just didn't work out. That's just how it happens. Yes, and you still have a right to your own feelings. I do not want you to dismiss that. In the process of trying to look for more or look for better, these things happen, right? So yes, while it may be an inconvenient feeling, it is still your feeling to hold. Those two things can be true at once. It can be massively inconvenient, and also understanding it's not going to help us in the grand scheme of things. Don't use it as simple justification. Use it as a platform to understand and try to get at the root of, why do I feel this way? Therefore, when I'm ready to make my move, I can finally put things to rest, right? Because that sudden 180 turnaround, almost that emotional whiplash, wasn't tangibly useful, at least in a material way. Yes. Was it emotionally useful for you? It might have been actually counterproductive, right? So in the present tense, let's see what's going on with the Aquarius career. Show us the cards that we need to see, please. What of the here and now for the Aquarian Collective? Okay, Six of Cups. Okay, so we kind of kept that promise to ourselves, but why so? Okay, good. I'm seeing a lot of this. Moving forward, taking action, that Six of Swords, and Two of Pentacles. Okay. In the present, we're able to make things balance out. Doesn't tell me much about your emotional disposition, Aquarius, but if nothing else, hey, I had to do what I had to do. And it doesn't serve me to be stuck in the past. However, it doesn't also answer for me as your reader how you emotionally feel in your present. Because again, you met your material need. Did we meet the other things that were indicated by this? I'm not clearly seeing any structure there. I see that with that Six of Cups, okay, we kept the promise to ourselves of, yeah, we got to keep going. We got to keep going, right? And I totally get that from a utility standpoint, because that Six of Swords coming out right afterwards. Hey, keep it pushing, keep rolling the boat, keep moving. And then the Two of Pentacles afterwards, even more so, that things do come into balance the more that we juggle. However, you're not meant to stay permanently in that Two of Pentacles, right? Juggling is a verb, it is an act. It's not meant to be lasting that way forever, because juggling requires things to be thrown into the air, and it's not meant to be stuck in permanent suspension, right? So I think it kind of buoys some of the feelings and some of the regrets we have of whatever happened in the past. However, it's not getting us to where we necessarily want to be, at least in the immediate. But are we in a better state than we were? Yes. Now, what are we doing with that? I think that's a bigger and better question I want you to ask. In the future orientation, show us the cards that we need to see, please, for the Aquarius Collective. Well, Temperance, card Sagittarius. Okay, and if you needed space, you needed space. I can respect that. Again, I wasn't trying to dismiss you earlier when I was saying those things. Temperance, with time, hopefully comes healing, right? That if I got enough distance, enough space away from the thing that didn't work out, then maybe, just maybe, I could start to move in a newly carved direction for myself. Okay, makes sense. What else for Aquarius? Page of Swords. Okay, the observation, the need to learn. How so? The Three of Wands. Okay, good. Now, it took a while for me to see that. And underneath it all, Seven of Cups. Possibility opens up again. This is what, originally I was worried because, again, that's such massive heartbreak in the past. And you just showed me work. Let's just try to push ourselves through it, and it'll work out in the future. And I want to say not immediately, but maybe within a month's time, we're actually opening ourselves up to, wow, that really impacted me in ways that it's starting to reverberate here and now. However, in the future, that Three of Wands, now being able to look ahead properly, right? Being able to anticipate, being able to want that instead of pushing myself towards that in that timeline, along with Temperance, we are now saying, no, I need to learn how I got here, right? I think I've just been pushing myself to just get through it for so long. And now I'm able to see the emotional impact this has had on me. But when I'm able to bring my emotive self along with my, my work ethic of utility, when I'm able to fuse those things and say, yeah, I really wanted that thing to work out, and it didn't, and I need to accept that. That doesn't make me, a Debbie Downer. It doesn't make me resentful. It just means I'm kind of hurt. And when I can accept both my feelings and my reality, I'm actually able to carve out a new path for myself and believe that other possibilities awaken. That's how that Seven of Cups came out, right? That more possibility happens when I don't try to shut off one part of myself just to make things work. Okay. Good, I like that for you. It takes a while for you to get there because it kind of feels emotionally uncomfortable in the present. And yeah, you're not in a state to immediately accept this. So again, if you try to fast track your emotions back, just like you tried to fast track your emotions forward, you're going to skip by entire scenes. It's like trying to watch a movie at 3 times speed. Why? Okay, so let's look at the space in between. Show us cards of connection between the time-based orientations and Aquarius career reading. What are the cards we need to see, please? The space that is held between the what was and the what is. Okay. Three of Pentacles. The notion of collaborative working efforts. Remember, this is your career read. Why so? The Nine of Swords. Action must be done. Why? Oh, okay. Ace of Wands. The spearhead of a project or kind of a leadership position in a group kind of couldn't take no for an answer. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because I'm like, why are we having such vast emotional shutdown around something that we really wanted to? It's because you felt other people were depending on you. So let me set my feelings to the side and make sure that, people aren't vastly impacted by a negative outcome that this potentially could be. Let me set all my feelings to the side and just make sure that everyone else is happy. Okay, I understand that we want to care for others, but where did you take any time for yourself? It's not showing. I think that, this is good from a, again, utility-based standpoint. However, the biggest person that you forgot was you. And this makes sense why in the present it was just all about work and execution. Okay. Between the present tense and the future. So those cards we need to see, please. What's held between the what is and what if for Aquarius and their career read. Not wanting to let anybody down. Okay, a victory is had. Six of Wands. Okay. The recognition of your efforts that, no, this is really what it took to make things work out. The Empress. The highest and most productive version of the self. And the Three of Swords. Going back to that notion of heartbreak. Before I say that, the Hangman. So let's see if we learned our lesson. Let's see if we could observe things differently and get trapped in suspension. So whatever happened back here is going to end up, it always ends up like a boomerang coming back to us, right, Aquarius? And in knowing that, while your effort is recognized and you feel like, I've elevated to a higher state of being, right? That Empress, the best version of me coming out, I am the most productive, the most experienced, the most elevated I've been in a while. That Three of Swords is the last hurdle because we never dealt with that emotional, the emotional backlash of what happened. We never dealt with that. We kind of shut it out, said that this doesn't matter. I can't deal with this right now. I can't deal with this right now. And then the last hurdle to get to where you want to be, after all the accolades of everything said and done, we got to realize we were hurt. And I know that sounds like such a blasé and simple solution, but it is what it is, right? You're not going to be able to elevate to where you want to be unless you really sit with, why did this hurt me? Why did I feel that it had to be absolutely perfect? And then when everything crumbled, what was I left to be in the aftermath? That doesn't make you a failure at all. In fact, it makes you very contemplative of what you truly want. Right. And I think that's what you're trying to dig at, because we actually intentionally unearth that Three of Swords when we have this victory. Right. When we say, I pushed myself so hard just to make everything work out, both for myself and others. Now, in the aftermath of it, I still wish it could have been. I still wish it could have worked out. Now, what am I left to do? Who am I left to be? Okay. I can get that. And as we move towards resolution, first define the major arcana from across the table for Aquarius and their read. We will start with Temperance, the card of Sagittarius. We only have about 2 on the board. Why Temperance? Why do we let the internal energy of the soul heal and therefore everything else open up afterwards? Because it took a long time for you to get there. So why do we finally accept this as good? Okay, we start with this one, with Temperance. 2 of Swords. Good. Because we admit we don't have all the answers. And that's okay. We're finally okay enough to say, I I don't know everything. I wish I did. I wish everything worked out perfect. And I don't need to know everything. I need to be okay with where and who I'm at. Okay. I wish it was something, there's more profound inside Aquarius, but that's just what I'm seeing right now. To the Empress, Ten of Pentacles. I'm able to build the foundation for the vision that I want to see come true. Okay. And that's why you're opening up that Three of Swords again. I couldn't understand the imperative behind that because I'm like, ooh, is this another backlash? No, that Ten of Pentacles, you're saying to get to where I want to be, I must intentionally look at what went wrong back here. Not trying to skip by it, not trying to run away from it. I need to reopen it the entire way. I'm kicking that emotional barrier down. And I don't want to do it, but I realize I have to in order to make things work out. Okay. Got it. The crossing pattern. Okay, so Five of Pentacles, the notion of poverty, particularly in a career, but even more so being left out and locked out from what you truly wanted. Five of Cups, the emotional devastation that happens when things don't work out as planned. Got it. And in resolution, Nine of Cups. Oh, that's a complete turnaround. What does fulfillment truly mean and look like for me? Five of Swords. Self-sabotage and abandonment. Let us not repeat old patterns. Got it. It's almost like a dedication to the self. And underneath it all, the Nine of Pentacles. Wanting to invest for the long haul and do all the work that it takes to get there. All the calculations, all the ups and downs, and being able to handle it in stride. What did we see in your read today, Aquarius? I'm looking at somebody who a big investment they made kind of fell apart drastically, and we didn't want to disappoint ourselves or others, so we just really hit the put the pedal to the metal and really just kind of fast track. We must work, we must get this done, and I'm going to set aside my feelings because my feelings don't matter in this case, just try to get from point A to point B. The problem with that is after you had that material success happen, we're forced to actually backtrack, and you do this intentionally on purpose to make sure that the same exact repeat doesn't happen again. So you intentionally open up that old wound to try to learn from it. We're trying to emotionally make space for ourselves. I think that's really good for you because one of the biggest conclusions you have is that, yeah, even this well-invested plan I had before, I don't have all the answers. And sometimes I really look back and ask myself, why didn't it work out? And maybe I don't need to have all the answers. I need to be comfortable with where and who I am right now. So as I see more possibility open up, I'm not going to run away about how I feel about certain things. Actually, that is intrinsic to my success now. Not ignoring it anymore, but putting it to the forefront. You don't have to run away from what we're scared of. So that's all I got on your read today, Aquarius. Hope this conversation helped. And yeah, when you're ready, kick that door open again and just sit. Be surprised at what you find. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.